Hey guys, it's Carl Brown for GuitarLessons365.com. Today we're going to take a look at Fuel by Metallica. So I'm going to take a look at all the riffs in this one and all of Kirk Hammett's fills during the verse, and then we're going to take a look at another video after this where I'll take down Kirk Hammett's solo note for note. Alright, so we are tuned down a half step, so that is starting from the 6th string, E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat, B flat, and E flat. Alright, so get in that tuning and let's get rocking here. So we're going to start here with that first main riff of the song. It starts with this phrase. Alright, so what we're doing here is we're pulling off, we're playing 3 and pulling off to the open string on the low E. And then you're going to pick the open string again. So we have that, and we do that. So you can see there, I hit an open string, and then I do the pull off again, then open string, and then I just do the pull off without the open string played by itself. So we have this. Alright, so you can see that I'm picking that open string on just the first two. It's basically a pattern, a sequence of 3. Pick, 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 pick. Alright, so it opens the song with that. And then the full band comes in, playing the same riff, and then we had this little... Now that's sliding into an octave shape here, off the 5th fret of the low E string. So remember, you keep that A string muted and just play the 7th on the D with it. So you slide into it, pick that a couple times, pick it and slide it back down to 3, and then pick it and slide it right back up to 5. So we have this. And then keep going back to the riff. Alright, from there, the second time while you're doing the slides, right in the middle of them, it does that. Alright, so that's going to start with a hammer-on between 5 and 7 on the A, and then pick 7 3 times on the D, and then pick 5 and a slight little bend, a little downward bend. Then you pick 7 on the A, and then do that hammer again. So we have this. So you can look at it like this. This is the riff, hammer. When you're stopping there on the 7th fret on the A, and then you just repeat what you did. And it ends with a hammer-on, and then goes back to the... Alright, from there we lead into the verse, which sounds like this. It goes back to those riffs again. So that's the open. Obviously there's 2 guitar parts going here. We have Hetfield, who plays the low E open string power chord, then the 3rd fret power chord, and then back to the open power chord. So he goes. Alright, and while he's playing that E power chord there, this one right here, we have this. That's Kirk Hammett's part, and that's basically the same riff, kind of, where he's doing a hammer-on 12 to 14 on the A, and then playing 14 across the D and the G together 3 times, and then 12 across the D and the G, and then just like we did here. So it's kind of like, but instead of just single notes here, we're doing double stops. All right, and then we go back through the second half of the verse. There's just that's just a low E power chord, 7th fret, then 6, 5, and then we're back into that main riff. All right, now we go through the verse chords again, and there's a little bit different feel that's gonna happen by Kirk Hammett. So we start the same way, but over this part, Kirk Hammett does this. All right, so he just hit that power chord. Instead of going, he's playing these chords. Well, double stops, 11 on the G, 12 on the B, and then down 1 fret, and then to the 5 across the B and the G, and then 7th fret on the D. All right, so we get out of that, kind of go into an E power chord that leads us into the chorus, which has 2 definitive parts. Let me play Kirk Hammett's first because it sounds more like the actual section if you put it together. So it sounds like this. All right, so you can see there was no bass line there. James Hetfield takes care of that part, which is what he does live at least. So let's take a look at what I just did with Kirk Hammett, and then we'll take a look at James Hetfield's part there. This is the chorus of the song. So we're going to be pulling off 7 to 5 on the A string. 7, 5, low E open, and then back to that 7. And then couple low E opens. So that's the actual riff itself. All right, and then we basically get the same feel going. We're just changing the root notes here. It's now the A, the 5th fret there on the low E string. So that's the same thing there, but you got to do a little bar across the 5th and 6th string to now have the A in the bass. So it's the same rhythm as the open E. All right, and now we're going to move it down, the root note down to the bass note there to the 3rd fret on the E string. So it's kind of a stretch, and you're going to do that same 7-5 pull up. So that was a little bit of a stretch, and then we're back up to the one with the A note in the bass. So we have this all together. All right, and now he's not going to be doing the bass notes. He's just going to do the top little pull off, which is going to be 10 to 7 on the A string. So you do a pull off 10 to 7, and then pick a 7 again. You're going to do that 6 times. And then after six times, you're going to move it up 2 frets and pull off 12 to 9 there twice. And then that takes you back to the... All right, so now what is Hetfield doing? Now he basically just does a simple rhythm, usually just 1-note rhythm. Pretty light on the recording. So that's just a low E open to the 5th fret, then 3, 5, now back to the open, back to 5, then 8, 10. Now when he's doing that, that's when he's up there. Okay, so that's pretty much it for the chorus there. So we have a little kind of breakdown section that happens in the song as well. So let me take a look at that real quick. Let me just play it. It's probably my favorite part of the song. Here it goes. All right, so that part right there, the second version of it, you see, it's kind of the same, kind of very similar riff, but changed at the end. Where when it changes, that's really where Kirk Hammett starts doubling that up top to begin his solo. So that's what we're going to look at in the second video. But let's just look at what Hetfield's doing here. So we're going to start with. All right, so that's just the 7th fret on the A and the D together 3 times, and then the 5th fret across the A and the D. Now come over to the 7th fret on the low E and the A, pick it and slide it down. You slide it all the way down until you're playing the low E open power chord, and really heavily palm muted there with 4 downstrokes. And then back. Now, so it's the same thing when we went back. Except now you just do 2 E power chord mutes and nice and open, hit the power chord here off the 3rd fret. So I had this all together. Just repeat. All right, so then he goes into a variation of that riff, which is where Kirk Hammett starts doubling it for the beginning of his solo. Now, and that riff sounds like this. All right, so we started the same way. So from there, though, we go 5 across the low E and the A together, and 7s on the low E and the A. Over to the 5 on the A and the D, then back to those 2 7s here on the low E string and the A. So we have this, slide that down and start doing the kind of heavy muting on the low E power chord. So we have this. Then we start the riff the same way, but here we just go, basically we go through those 5 on the low E and the A, same thing on the 7s, and when you get here to the 5th fret on the A and the D, you hold it instead of going back down. You just hold it. So we have this. Repeat. It goes back into those riffs. All right, so stay tuned for Kirk Hammett solo. It's coming up next. I'll see you then.